أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي كان موجودا قبل حدوث الأشياء ويبقى بعد فناء الأشياء. تفرد بالأولية والقدم ووسم كل شيء ما عداه بالفناء والعدم، كما قال عز شأنه: كل شيء هالك إلا وجهه وكل نفس ذائقة الموت. نشهد أن لا إله إلا هو الملك الذي لا ينازع في ملكه ولا يضاد في حكمه، يعذب من يشاء بما يشاء كيف يشاء، ويرحم من يشاء بما يشاء كيف يشاء. تعذيبه المسيئين عدل وعفوه تفضل. ونشهد أن محمدا سيد المرسلين وخير المبشرين والمنذرين، صلى الله عليه وآله الهداة المهديين. من ركب سفينتهم نجا واهتدى، ومن تخلف عنها ضل فغرق وهوى. أوصيكم عباد الله بالاعتصام بالتقوى، فإنه حبل متين وعروة وثقى. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. The day of Friday and the repeated message of the day of Friday is the message of taqwa. And hence I take this opportunity first to exhort myself, to dictate to myself, to encourage to myself the taqwa of God, the fear of God, the piety towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then command you, and then request you, and then dictate to you to adopt the taqwa of God, the fear of God, the subservience of God. Because in the submission towards the will of God and in the obedience to the rulings of God lies man's success, whether it is in this world or the hereafter. In the absence of this submission, in the absence of this obedience towards Allah, there can be no success, neither in this world nor in the akhirat. Normally, when I go to Jamaats and institutions for lectures and majalis, if there's an individual who normally leads prayers, I always refrain from taking up the mihrab. But because I was requested by Muhammad Raza Bhai, I could not turn him down. So it's on his insistence and his request that I have to stand up here before you, whereas he's sitting over there. So with your permission. While we are in the throes of the discussion of the 12th Imam, so I feel it is appropriate that I restrict the khutbah again, limited to the issue of the 12th Imam, so that it is in link and sync with the entire discussion that goes on. And what becomes very important for us to understand is how things that are appearing to be unrelated in Islam, when you look in a different perspective and in a panoramic view, you will see that there is no difference and there is no asynchronicity, or there is no contradiction in Islam. That is why Quran says in Surah Mulk, look into the skies. Hal tara min, will you see in the skies any break, any discordance, any contradiction? You will never see any difference. You will never see any break. You'll never see any contradiction. And this goes with Islam. Every action that you see in Islam may appear to be unrelated, but when you look from a panoramic view, you see they're very well synchronized. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece fits in absolutely where it needs to fit in. And today I want to prove this to you. And again, related to the 12th Imam. See, when you look at the holy Kaaba, Kaaba has its own importance. The house of God, Ahlul-bayt wudi'a lin-nas lalladhi bi-Bakkata mubarakah. The first house of God that was made for a congregational prayers. That the first house, when Quran says this is the house, the first house of prayers, in olden times, they would have houses, they would have places where they would individually pray in terms of families and family members. But there was not a house that was regarded as a place of congregational prayers. The first house that Islam identified to be the place of congregational place of worship was the house of Kaaba, was the house of God. And always God has revered the Kaaba with great respect. And when you look into the Quran, you would find that on various occasions, whenever God wants to impart a certain sense of absolute significance and absolute importance, He uses the word I. So He refers that thing straight to Him. So when He goes and talks about the creation of Adam, He says, Ruhi, when I blow into him my soul. That means the soul that I have created. Nafakhtu fihi min ruhi. When I blow into him the soul that I have created, my soul. My soul means not my soul, but it's like my book, mari vastu. To je soul ru mari che hu khalq kairu chu, what I've created, I'm going to put into it. Same thing he talks about the Kaaba, bayti, my house. This concept referring into the first person is very seldomly seen in the Quran, except in those instances when he wants to highlight the absolute importance and significance of a certain thing. Then he says, mine, my soul, my house. And so with this respect to the Kaaba, Kaaba itself has a lot of importance. It's regarded not just per se, but all those things that become associated with the Holy Kaaba assumes the importance. So even individuals who go, you have to respect the Kaaba. It is something that plays an extremely important role in our lives. But not just the Holy Kaaba, anything and everything that gets associated with the Kaaba becomes very important. So while it is haram to destroy the Kaaba, it is haram to also violate the sanctity of those who go to the Kaaba, who goes for the ziyarat of the Kaaba, who go for Umrah, who go for Hajj. Says who? Says the Quran. It says, وَلَا تُحِلُّوا يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, O you who believe, لَا تُحِلُّوا شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ. Make sure you don't disrespect those things that are associated with God. Then he goes on to say, لَا تُحِلُّوا شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ وَلَا الشَّهْرَ الْحَرَامِ وَلَا الْهَدْيَ وَلَا الْقَلَاعِدِ. And then he says, وَآمِينَ الْبَيْتَ الْحَرَامِ. Those individuals who go for the ziyarat of my house become so sacrosanct that you are not supposed to violate their sanctity. Do not humiliate them. Do not disrespect them. They may be sinners, but the moment they've become za'irin of my house, whether in terms of Umrah or Hajj, they come to establish for themselves a sense of respect that you have to respect. So individuals, even if they become associated with the Kaaba, they're supposed to be respected. Quran says you cannot humiliate them. You cannot violate their respect and izzat. This is as far as the Shariat is concerned. But today I want to, in the very few minutes that we've got, I want to explain to you something that is amazing about the importance that Allah has attached to the Holy Kaaba. See, in this case, when He says, don't trouble, don't hurt, don't disturb individuals, respect the Kaaba, these are shar'an. So those, if somebody disrespects the Kaaba in this world, nothing will happen to him. If somebody disrespects, Quran says, respect those who come to my house for ziyarat. But if somebody disrespects them, then God will not take him to task now. It's not that he will die. It's not that he will be engulfed in punishment. God says, that I will take care of you on the day of judgment. This is a ruling that I've given. You've got an opportunity to violate it. You've got an opportunity to adhere to it. If you adhere to it, you will get the rewards. If you reject it, the punishment will be with me on the day of judgment. But this is something about the shara. This is the rulings. Certain things, God says, there is no ruling. I intervene directly. I will not allow that to happen. I will not allow those things to happen. So certain things are taken beyond our control. So the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. The sun rising in the east and setting in the west is not in our control. You cannot say, okay, today I want the sun to rise in the west and set in the east. It doesn't work. It's not in our hands. If the waves are moving in the seas, you and me have no control over the waves. We cannot say it needs to stop. God says these things are not with you. You don't have any control over these things. I have control. Certain individuals who I have graced the authority to, they have the control. But I go to the seats, I go to the beach, Daytona Beach, for example. Said the waves stop. The waves are not going to stop. It's not in our control. But God says certain things, I don't leave it into your control. I myself will handle it. Listen to this with respect to the Baytullah al-Haram. In Surah Hajj, verse number 25, I will read the relative portion. It's a It's not a very long verse, but the moment if you start reading the entire verse, you will get caught up in certain words and then the whole attention gets diverted. So I'm just reading the relative text that I want to talk about. This is with respect to the Holy Kaaba. Now, with respect to the Holy Kaaba, in Surah Baqarah, from verse number 125, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129, 5 verses. These are amazing verses that talk completely about the Kaaba. Right from the time the Kaaba came into existence, how it came into existence. It doesn't talk. These are just verses. But you need to go into tafsir. I have delivered probably 17 lectures on these 5 verses. 17 lectures on 5 verses. So comprehensive these are. They talk about things about the Holy Kaaba that you don't know, that we don't know. How it came, what happened, the design, the size, the dimension, the place, the location, who, what, why, when. But that's a different issue. We don't want to go into that. This verse that I'm talking about, Surah Hajj, verse number 25, gives a ruling of God with respect to the Kaaba. It says, listen, you need to understand. This house is so important to me. So important. Listen. That, so important to me, so significant to me, that وَمَنْ يُرِدْ فِيهِ بِإِلْحَادٍ بِظُلْمٍ نُذِقْهُ مِنْ عَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. It says individuals who target this house on this world is the manifestation of my majesty. Surah Hajj, verse number 25. You need to look at this. Riwayat, explanation, tafsir, and several other things. I'm concising all of them into the next 10 minutes. It says this place on earth, this Makkah, in the Makkah Masjidul Haram, inside Masjidul Haram, the Kaaba, is the manifestation of my power. Is the manifestation of my status, is the manifestation of my azamat and my might. Anybody wants to trouble and stand up in opposition to me with respect to this house, I will not allow. It is not like I tell you to pray namaz-e-subh, you don't pray namaz-e-subh. I say I will keep quiet. On the day of judgment I will take you to task. It is not like this that I tell you this house is so important. If those individuals are going for Hajj or going for Ziyarat, they go over there, you need to respect them. If you don't respect them, I will keep quiet. I will deal with you on the day of judgment. I tell you to fast, you don't fast, I will keep quiet. I will deal with you on the day of judgment. This aspect are not like these ones. These I can wait till the day of judgment. But individuals want to stand up in opposition to me by trying to destroy the Kaaba. The manifestation of my might in this world, I will not keep quiet. Means what? Riwayat say, individuals who attempt to destroy the Kaaba, God says, this is one place I will not allow. This is not like you not praying salat and I'm keeping quiet. Somebody makes an intention to destroy the Kaaba, which is a manifestation of my might in this world. I stand up. You stand up against me now. I will not let that happen. Not that I will let it happen on the day of judgment. I will take you to task. I will not allow this to happen. Manifestation of my might in this world has to remain. Natural calamities like the floods of Nuh come and destroy the Kaaba, not a problem, because those are natural calamities. But somebody taking an attempt or making an attempt to destroy the Kaaba as an enmity to Islam and an opposition to me, I will not allow that to happen. You want me to show you an example that took place in the past? Listen, and then I will give an example that will take place in the future. Imam Zamana, listen. All of you have heard about the force of Abraha. Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. Surah Al-Fil. Have you not seen what your Lord did to the Ashab Fil? All of us know what happened. At the time of Abdul Muttalib, Abraha brought his army of elephants, a huge army of elephants, with the intention was, I'm going to go into Makkah to destroy this house of Islam, the house of God. So he brings forth his entire army. Surah Al-Fil tells us, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. Did you not see what your God, what your Lord did to the people of elephants? Alam yaj'al kaydahum fi tadlil. Did he not put their entire conspiracy into the bin? Now, these are my words, right? Did he not put the entire conspiracy into the trash? Arsala alayhim tayran ababil. Small little birds, he sent them. Yarmihim bihijaratin min sijil. Small little boulders, small little rocks, pebbles. I'll explain to this. Onto the elephants. فَجَعَلَهُمْ كَعَصْفٍ مَعْكُولٍ. He routed the entire force كَأَصْفٍ مَعْكُولٍ. Asf means grass. A cow, when the cow takes grass in the mouth and begins to chew and chews and chews and chews and chews. And then when it takes out, what remains is what God says, I did with the army of the elephants. That is called asfim ma'kul, the grass or the hay eaten, chewed into a lump of flesh, a lump of grass taken out. This is what I did. Now you know what happened. Abraha brings his army of elephants to destroy the Kaaba. At that time, God says, you have come in opposition to my power. I will not allow it to happen. You may bring your armies, I will send my armies. So small little birds, Ababil, small little birds, with even smaller heads, with even smaller beaks. In those small beaks, small little kankar ke na apna Gujarati ma, small little pebbles, small little bird with small little head, into even smaller beaks. In those small beaks, even smaller pebbles. Every pebble that would drop on an elephant, that elephant, Riwayat say, would die at that very instant. God says, you can't fight me. You want to fight my power, the manifestation of my power upon the earth? I will not allow that to happen. Natural calamities, I will not intervene. That's a natural process. But you stand up with the intention to destroy my house, I will not let that happen. You bring your entire army, I will send my army. Small little kankar, small little pebbles will drop down the size of a pepper, ungrounded pepper. Ungrounded pepper I will drop onto them, ka'asfim ma'kul. The entire army I will devastate, because they're coming in opposition to my power in this world. I will not allow. Now this is the sunnat of God with respect to the Kaaba. This took place in the past. This will take place in the future. When Imam Zamana will come. What happens? Listen to this. I've got another few minutes. Understand the sunnat. No contest in terms of power when it comes to the Kaaba. Again I say, natural calamity is not a problem. But somebody directly intends to destroy the Kaaba. There have been cases where individuals have sought sanctuary in the Kaaba. People have gone to catch and capture and seize that individual. In trying to seize, the Kaaba was destroyed. God says, I will not intervene. Because the intention is not to destroy the Kaaba. But somebody comes and says, I will destroy this might and manifestation of the might of God upon the earth. I will not allow. In the Akhiru Zaman we know. See, amongst the 5 signs that are definitive signs of the arrival of the Imam Zamana, one is the sign that is related to the Kaaba. Related to the Kaaba means when? Related to the Kaaba vis-a-vis Sufyani. Sufyani will rise up in Syria. A lot of people say Sufyani is what the ISIS is and fulan. It's a good thing to discuss, but we are not going into passing a categorical judgment whether it is the same thing or not. But Riwayat says Sufyani rises up in Damascus. When Sufyani rises up in Damascus, 3 months after he starts off, 4 months after he starts off, Imam Zamana will arrive. But when Imam arrives, the first time that he arrives, you're not supposed to come to him. We will not be called. And that is why Riwayat say, the first time Imam comes, it will be on the 23rd of the month of Ramadan, that a sound will be heard from the sky that your Imam has come. This is not the time you're supposed to go to him. The time that we are supposed to go to him is when he's in Makkah. On the 23rd of the month of Ramadan, when the sound will come that your Imam has come, at that time Imam is in Medina. We are not supposed to go to him. That is his preparation that he will be making. We are not supposed to go. Neither will we be called. But the sound will be heard, the Imam has come. We are not asked to join him. He is now in Medina. We are supposed to join him in Mecca when he sits in the in Masjid al-Haram with his back facing to the wall, and Jibreel will call out. That's the time we are supposed to go. Imam is in Medina. The sound comes. The announcement will be made. Imam has arrived. You and me are not supposed to go there. Sufyani comes to know that Imam is in Medina. What happens was, Sufyani, after taking over the entire Syria, he starts off on the outskirts of Damascus. He takes over the entire outskirts, takes over the whole of Damascus, takes over the whole of Syria. When he takes over the whole of Syria, he now wants to take over Iraq. Iraq, in those days, the most important city will be Kufa. So he sends his army from Damascus to Kufa. Go to Kufa. The army of Sufyani moves towards Kufa. When it comes towards Kufa, you have these 2 individuals that you keep hearing. Sayyid Hassani and Khurasani. These 2 individuals joined ranks. I'm going very quickly without details. They joined ranks, because my eye is on the clock. They joined ranks to fight against Sufyani. A battle takes place between Sufyani wants to the army of Sufyani. He's still not here. He's in Damascus. He sends his army to Kufa. Go take over Kufa. The army of Sufyani lands up in Kufa. To take over Kufa, they've met with an opposition of the combined army of Hassani, Sayyid Hassani and Khurasani. In that battle, they repel the forces of Sufyani. So they're not able to take over Kufa. Sayyid Hassani and Khurasani take over Kufa. They establish amniyat and safety and peace. It is at this time that Imam is now in Medina, and the sound is heard on the 23rd of Ramadan that your Imam has arrived. Sufyani hears. So he tells his people, forget Kufa, go to Medina. This is the man I want. You were talking about Kaaba, we have not lost track. Understand how it works. He says, go to Medina, pick up this man. I want this man, leave Kufa. Kufa will take up later on. So he tells his army, leave Kufa. You're facing an opposition. You cannot enter. Leave them. Go to Medina. This man I want. So they go to Medina. This army is going towards Medina of Sufyani. Imam is in Medina. At that time, Jibreel comes. Reverse migration. Reverse migration means what? At the time of the Holy Prophet, the Prophet migrated from Mecca to Medina. He was told, your life is in danger. Move from Mecca to Medina. Reverse migration. Jibreel comes and says, God has ordered you to flee and do the same migration that the Prophet did from Mecca to Medina. You're going to go from Medina to Mecca. Preparation for his final announcement for us to join him. So he is now told by Allah, move from Medina, go to Mecca. The army of Sufyani are moving from Kufa into Medina. Kufa is in Iraq, Medina is in Saudi Arabia. While they are traveling, Imam has said, go from Medina to Mecca. You need to escape. So he moves from Medina to Mecca. The army of Sufyani come to Medina. When they come to Medina, they find Imam is not there. So where is he? Where is this Muhammad ibn Ali, Muhammad ibn al-Hassan? He says, he's gone to Mecca. So they send a message to Sufyani. We've come from Kufa to Medina, but now he's gone to Mecca. What do we do? Sufyani says, go to Mecca. But now that you're going to go to Mecca, do two things. Saying what? Saying first, take hold of this man who's referred to as Al-Qaim, this Mahdi. Seize him one, and before you leave Mecca, destroy the Kaaba. Take hold of this man and bring him to Damascus. And before you leave Mecca, make sure you destroy that Kaaba, that house which signifies the power of God, of the Muslim God. I want you to destroy it. This army now moves from Medina to Mecca. In between Mecca and Medina is a place called Baida. 5 signs, there are various signs that talk about the arrival of the Imam. But 5 signs are regarded as the definitive signs. Says Imam will not come unless these signs take place. There's so many other signs. They may take place, they may not take place. But these 5 signs, if they don't take place, Imam will not come. One of these 5 signs is related to this region called Baida, between Medina and Mecca. The sunnah of God. You want to come to destroy my house. You're going to face me. I am personally going to intervene. I did that at the time of Abdul Muttalib with Abraha. I'm going to do it now. Rawat say, this army of Sufyani leaves Medina to go to Mecca, to take hold of Imam, to send him to Damascus to Sufyani, and to destroy the Kaaba. They reach a place called Baida. That one of the 5 definitive signs for the arrival of the Imam takes place there. Says Rawat say, when they reach Baida, Jibreel comes, and he announces to the earth, these individuals, the enemies of God, are going to Mecca to take hold of the Hujjat of God and destroy the house of God. You need to swallow them. It is at that time, the Riwayat say, the earth splits in this region called Baida. The entire army minus 2, except for 2 individuals, the entire army goes down into the earth, gets swallowed up. 6th Imam says, till this does not take place, the mission of the Imam will not begin. Over there, Quran says, you test my patience with respect to my power. In terms of Shariat, not a problem. But you want to destroy my house, my power, the manifestation in this world, I will not allow you. Riwayat say, they leave over there, in trying to catch, they come to Baida, the entire ground splits, the entire army settles down, 2 individuals remain. One is ordered by Jibreel, go to the 12th Imam. The other is ordered by Jibreel, go to Sufyani. What message, what pagham, what was supposed to be said, that's not the point of concern right now. But the point is that in Abraha's time, he tried to destroy the Kaaba. God says, no, you don't want to destroy my house because you're going to face my power. Same thing will take place in the time of the 12th Imam. Sufyani's forces wanting to destroy the Kaaba. Allah says, over me that you'll have to cross. There's no way that you'll be able to destroy my manifestation of power on this world. That in one of the 5 definitive signs takes place over this, primarily because the intention of these people was to break down the Kaaba. This is how important Kaaba is in the eyes of God. إن أحسن الحديث وأبلغ الموعظة كتاب الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحليم الكريم غافر الذنب وقابل التوبة هو الغفور الرحيم. نشهد أن لا إله إلا هو العطوف على العباد بجوده والعواد على المذنبين بحلمه. ونشهد أن محمدا نبيه وحبيبه سيد المرسلين والشفيع المذنبين بعثه رحمة للعالمين صلى الله عليه وآله الداعين إلى سبيل الله بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة. Again, I keep repeating second khutbah, the message of taqwa, the message of obedience, the message of subservience, the message of submission towards the will, to the power, to the dictates and to the rulings of God. Because only in the submission before God can man raise himself to success in this world and the hereafter. ألا قد أمركم الله في محكم كتابه بالصلاة على نبيه وحبيبه فقال تعليما لكم التشريف لصفيه إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيد المرسلين وشفيع المذنبين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وعلى إمام المسلمين وقائد الغر المحجلين أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب صلوات الله عليه محمد وآل محمد وعلى سيدة نساء العالمين وبضعة خاتم النبيين سيدتنا فاطمة بنت رسول الله صلوات الله وسلامه عليها وعلى الحسن المجتبى محمد وآل محمد والحسين الشهيد بكربلاء وعلي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي عليهم الصلاة والسلام. اللهم صل على مولانا صاحب الزمان ماحي آثار البدع والطغيان هادم يبنية الشرك والنفاق حاسد فروع البغي والشقاق صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. اللهم عجل فرجه وسهل مخرجه واجعلنا من المستشهدين بين يديه. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يذكر فتنفعه الذكرى. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان والإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون.